Let's take another look at a different example, okay? So this time, we still have two polynomial pieces and one is contained inside of a radical. So when it comes to choosing u, we're going to do the part that's inside of the radical. So here I'm going to do u is equal to the x squared plus 3. The derivative of that, the du, is 2x dx, okay? Now we don't have exactly 2x dx in our problem. We have a 6x and a dx. So I want to make this match that. So if I multiply this by 3 and multiply this by 3, I'll get 3 du is equal to the 6x dx. Meaning the 6x and the dx can get replaced by a 3 and a du. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite my integral with the 3 and the du involved. That's replacing the 6x and the dx. The x squared plus 3 is a u, so I have the square root of u left. Okay? So then it would be rewrite it with a fractional exponent. Go ahead and find the antiderivative using the power rule. Okay? But before I do that, I want to show you the idea of the new bounds again. So back over here, we could use the original u equals, all right, to calculate some other bounds so I don't have to go back, okay? So keep in mind u is equal to x squared plus 3. Now our upper bound is the square root of 6. So if I do u of the square root of 6, that would be the square root of 6 squared plus 3, which is really just 6 plus 3 is 9. That means I could put a 9 as the upper bound here, and then I won't have to go back to x's. Okay. If I do the same thing with the lower bound, u of 1, that would be 1 squared plus 3, which is 4, which means the 1 can be replaced by a 4. All right, so the advantage to this is that I never have to go back and plug in the x squared plus 3. All right, again, this is an option, this is not a requirement. So I'll talk you through how it would be different if we chose not to do that new bound step. Okay? So from here, I now have the antiderivative from 4 to 9 of 3u to the 1/2 du. So I want to find the antiderivative of that. So keep the 3, keep the u, add 1 to the exponent, divide by 3/2 or multiply by its reciprocal, and evaluate from 4 to 9. Okay? So this is really 2 u to the 3/2 is the square root of u cubed, and I need to evaluate that from 4 to 9. Now if I hadn't done the new bounds of 4 and 9, there would be no bounds written here or here or here or here, and my next step would be to write 2 square root of x squared plus 3 to the third, and then the original bounds of 1 and square root of 6. Okay? But I'm going to go from here and see what happens. So now I need to do 2 square root of 9 to the third power minus 2 square root of 4 to the third power, which are going to work out pretty nice. The square root of 9 is 3, 3 cubed is 27, 2 times 27 is 54. The square root of 4 is 2, 2 cubed is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. And then if I subtract 54 minus 16, I get a final answer of 38. Okay. Now again, I'm going to show you what would happen if we hadn't done the new bounds, and then the other two examples, I'll just pick one method or the other. Okay, so back over here. If I had never done new bounds, here's what would have happened. Okay, so this is your alternative if you don't like the new bounds idea. We would have had 2 square root of u cubed, which is the same thing as 2 square root of u is x squared plus 3 cubed. And then we would evaluate from 1 to the square root of 6. Okay, So it's just the evaluating gets a little bit messier because you have to plug something more complicated in. So it's 2 square root of 6 squared plus 3 to the third power minus 2 square root of 1 squared plus 3 and cube that. Okay. So this just looks a little bit more complicated than this looks. Okay. But the square root of 6 squared, that's 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So then we get square root of 9 to the third minus 2. 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Square root of 4 to the third. And then you'll see we end up right back where we were with the 54 minus 16. Okay? So either way, you'll get to the same final answer. It's just a matter of, do you want to kind of separate out some of the computation work or do it all at once, like you see right here? All right? That's example number 2.